In this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of waiving a home inspection. For those of you that don't know, my name is James. I run a company called First Home Inspectors here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've got 119 5-star reviews at the time of this recording and of the perfect 5-star rating. So before we jump into this, obviously you guys would probably think I'm biased towards this whole thing and trying to convince you into buying a home inspection. That's not really the case. You guys can definitely see right through that, but I will tell you some. So I tried to make this fair and as unbiased as possible. So there are some pros to waiving a home inspection, right? And the first one is that it makes to be a more compelling offer. So if you decide that you want to put an offer in and a seller has to have between two choices, let's say you're actually just selling your home, right? Put yourself in their shoes. Someone comes to you with an offer and they want to do an inspection for the same amount of money, and then there's the other guy who does want an inspection. If I were you, I would lean towards the guy that doesn't want an inspection. Like, I totally get that, right? And so if you are in a very competitive environment, it probably makes sense. It might make sense to actually waive the inspection, because if not, you will just keep getting beat out by guys that do waive the inspection, and then you'll never be able to get into them, right? There's other factors that make a good offer where, you know, if someone has if you can look at someone and be like, all right, they have a pre-approved offer, or all that kind of stuff, like the bank's already going to give them money and all that, and they think that, yeah, so that makes to be a little more of a compelling offer. The next thing is that you save $300 to $500. Home inspections do cost money, and that's usually the typical price range. For most homes under 2,000 square feet, I charge between, I think it's like around $340 for that. So if you do not have the money, or you'd rather spend the money on different things, then, you know, go ahead and do that. There's other things you're going to need to do when you move into the home, like change out the locks and buy shower curtains and stuff. And if you feel like the home's in good shape and you don't want to shell out $500, $300 to $500, and quite simply don't do that. If you have construction savvy family that perform the inspection, then I recommend doing that. You know, if you have friends and family that are in HVAC and plumbing, some carpentry and electrical work, and they can just walk around the house for you and kind of check things out, then, you know, that might be this whole ecosystem of thought process. Go ahead and do that. You guys can still put stuff on the request for repairs list even without a home inspection. It doesn't have to be all from me. And then home inspections don't actually cover every single part of the home. So, you know, get familiarized with what is included and what isn't included in a home inspection. And then you can just save that time and money and try and check it out for yourself. And the last thing is that the home has a warranty, builder warranty. That's important. So there's a thing called a builder warranty and then a home warranty. A builder warranty, I think, lasts between like 7 to 10 years, and it basically says, hey, if you discover this home has structural issues or a latent defect, like a defect that's inside the walls, you might be able to come after the builder for that, and they'll pay for those repairs. In contrast, a home warranty is a product that you pay for every year. It's around $500 to $700 most of the time, and if you need to replace your HVAC system or replace a water heater, you pay a small deductible, and then they fix the water heater and all that kind of stuff. Home warranties are, in theory, a better idea than what they actually sound like and what they actually are from talking to people. So I'll probably make a separate video on that, but that's something to draw a distinction between as a home warranty, builder warranty, and then I guess lastly, home insurance, kind of the last. Now on to some cons. So all in all, I would generally agree that there's a lot of places that you want to cut out. You want to cut money. I don't think a home inspection is one of them. I get that that's a bias, but here's like a story of why. So I had this girl call me because she couldn't sell her home. She bought this home without getting a home inspection done because she wanted to save the money. Now she's trying to get rid of it, and no one wants to buy it because they keep having inspectors go in, they check out the place, they find that the place is a dump, and then they can't get rid of it, right? So it is risky to completely waive a home inspection. If you have no construction savvy friends or family, it's more risky. The next thing is your friends and family are going to have less tools and ability to document. So if I were to ballpark how much all the tools I use on a regular basis cost, it'd probably be around like $2,000. If you don't have the tools, I mean, just going out and buying the tools would cost a significant amount of money, just even in itself. So once you account for the drone, the smart levels, the thermal imaging cameras, obviously the flashlight's cheap and it's screwdriver is rather cheap, but a couple other tools on top of that, it gets to be kind of an expensive, right? The next item is documentation. So unless you've been in a home inspection and had to read through a home inspection report or look through photos of a home, it is pretty difficult to figure out which photos are taken in which room. They have to be organized in a certain way, and if they're not, you almost have no value from photos. It's hard to believe until you're actually there, but the software that I use to organize my photos and create inspection reports costs me around $80 to $100 a month. And so even there is kind of a good proponent to getting a home inspection, because that inspector is going to be doing a bunch of them. And then the cost of the tools and the reporting software together completely, pay for a home inspection, $5 or something like that. After that, no knowledge of industry standards. So unless you do, a couple hundred homes, your friends and family aren't going to have an idea of what's normal and what's not normal, right? I believe when I started, I used to call out things that were very common and minute because they had the potential of being very bad, right? And after doing so many of them, you realize which ones are common, and so common to the point where it shouldn't really change someone's mind on whether or not they should buy a home based off that find. After that, less ability to negotiate repairs. So there's a certain amount of credibility that comes with a licensed home inspector, and having that credibility will give you a little more oomph when you're trying to get certain repairs done in the home in your request for repairs list. And then lastly, I would say there's a smaller ability for your friends and family to understand the implications of certain defects. Common ones would be like a site drainage one. No, it's pretty hard unless you look at dirt all the time to understand where the grade is going, where the water is going. That's important. And if you don't have an idea of, hey, this defect, the one I just talked about right now, can impact my foundation and cause a slew of issues that'll be extremely difficult to repair later on, you're not really going into the buying process with a fully educated mind and with all the information you need. So there you have it. We got some pros and some cons of waiving the home inspection. Pros, if you're in a really competitive environment where sellers don't even want to entertain an offer that includes a home inspection, you're never going to buy a house to begin with. So it kind of makes a new status quo just to waive the inspection, right? And speed up the due diligence process so that the seller can just get out of the home and not have to negotiate any hairs. But in other environments, it seems to make more sense. In most environments, it seems to make more sense, quite honestly. Home inspectors have more tools, have more knowledge, have more experience seeing these defects, and have a ability to tell you, hey, how this is common, this is uncommon, this is serious, not serious. Here's further implications of this defect. Here's further implications of this defect. That kind of value, I believe, is very important. And to give you guys just a quick snapshot, I have about 13 to 14,000 hours in the home. In the construction industry, it's a couple thousand hours home inspecting specifically, but all that knowledge play when I do what I do, and other home inspection companies will probably have to some degree, a similar amount of experience. Hope they're good. So if you have any questions or comments below, I'd love to hear them. Write them in the comments, shoot me any messages, and if you'd like to book a home inspection with my company, First Home Inspectors, I would love to work with you.